Hello, welcome to our first ever live stream on the channel. Delighted to be on. We've got two guests today, Real Ball Talk. We've got John and Jay. How are you guys doing?
Go on, Jilo.
Yeah, I'm good, boys. I'm good. Thanks for having us on. You guys are doing big things, so big you guys up for having us. Appreciate it.
No hassle, boys.
Yeah, I was just gonna say as well that I love that intro. That's a nice intro.
Intro was cool. Yeah, it was cold.
Thanks very much. Yeah, two big Arsenal fans here. Both of us Liverpool fans, obviously. Two of us had a few European ties and everything during the week, so we get straight into them. Europa League, how are you finding it?
I think personally speaking, it's a bit hard adjusted to Europa League still. I'm not gonna lie, I do miss those Champions League nights. Obviously, last time we were in the Champions League, we got slapped 10-2 on aggregate by Bayern Munich. So I don't really miss that too much, but it's hard. You miss the Champions League, the music before the games, playing against the best teams. But all we can do for the time being is try to win it. And to be honest with you guys, I think the Europa League standard this year is lower than it's been for a couple of years. And I think other than United, we should be going to win it, to be honest with you. So I hope we can be back with you guys in the Champions League next season, to be honest.
Well, I don't know if we will be back. Could be the other way around. Could be the other way around. Maybe if we win it to stay in it, when Chelsea did it under when Chelsea bet Bayern Munich, I don't know how they did that, but it'd have to be something like that because I don't see us making top four. But I seen your draw. You obviously got Prague. We got Madrid. I watched a bit of your game against Olympiacos the other night. And to be honest, I thought you were awful. I know you were as good as true, but even watching, like, Aubameyang should have had 3-4 goals, possibly. Like, I don't know what's up with him. Late for the North London derby. You think, perfect time, bag a few goals here, all is forgotten, but he looks disinterested or something. What do you think, Jay?
I mean, you hit the nail on the head there. I mean, with Aubameyang, right? Personally, if we can sell him after the season, I'll sell him. I'll sell him, bring in another striker, and keep Laka. In my opinion, for me, look, you can't take away the goals. He gets the goals. He gets nice fancy goals. He gets the goals. But other than that, he doesn't bring anything else to the team. Like, if we compare him to other players can grab the ball and do the business. They can win the game. They can drag us to get points and stuff. Whereas a lot of Arsenal fans like to defend him in regards to saying, "Oh, he needs the service, he needs that." But you don't say that about Ronaldo's, your Messi's, your up and coming Haaland's, your Mbappe, even your Mane and your Salah's. Do you know what I mean? They don't need that. They can get the pool and do the business. Do you know what I mean? So with Aubameyang, it's a bit of a funny one for me, man. I would keep him as squad player, but he wouldn't be starting week in, week out. And if he's our main guy, we ain't winning Europa. I'll be honest with you, we ain't winning Europa. And having said that, I think you watched the wrong game because that game was rubbish. You should have never watched that Arsenal game, a bit of it, because what I saw there, I went into that game thinking, okay, yeah, we can get an easy 3-0 here. To lose 1-0, it hurt. Even though we went through, it still hurt. Do you know what I mean? But that's Arsenal for you. That's what you're going to get out of them.
Mm-hmm. They'll break your heart.
Yeah, just on Aubameyang, like, if you sell him, do you think you'd get enough for him to maybe go again and buy another player? Because he is getting on in age, and when you see that kind of flashiness around a player and he's kind of demanding like a stinky kind of attitude, do you think you get, like, who would even buy him?
I'm not really sure, to be honest with you, because he's going to be turning 32 in the summer. I've always found it. Yeah, he's going to be 32 in the summer. Yeah, I've always found it interesting with him because I've got quite a few Liverpool friends and I watch quite a few other Liverpool podcasts, and it's interesting. I don't know what you guys think personally, but every time there's like a combined 11 between Liverpool and Arsenal, Liverpool fans always put Aubameyang in, and I'm quite surprised because I don't really feel Aubameyang would fit with Salah and Mane. I feel they're a bit too similar, and I think personally speaking, obviously Salah and Mane are better players than him. So he's clearly a highly rated footballer, and he's an elite finisher. I think, as Jalil said, the problem is his all-around game, and I think the fact that he's now one of the highest-paid players in the Premier League, you have to ask the same question that was asked with Ozil. Was he playing for the contract?
Yeah. Like, just on I don't see. No, I don't see. There's no way him going. First of all, I don't see anyone paying that wages. 375, not a chance. He's 32. He's just signed the contract as well. He's your club captain right now. Even though I think it should be Kieran Tierney, even though he's only came to you a year and a half or whatever. But I don't see him being sold. Like, he is a very good player. I know we're going right in the bombing. He's a very good goal scorer. Sorry, his overall play it's crap, to be honest. Like, I don't think he's a great dribbler. He doesn't have any hold up play, but he's a fox in the box. He's probably lost that yard of pace or whatever to burst away from defenders, get more goals. But yeah, it's kind of looking like an Ozil situation, sort of. Not as bad, but there is similarities with the contract and all that. But just on the Europa League, like, use Prague, and I think your route to the final is Villarreal. If Villarreal, who did they get? I think it was Zagreb.
Yeah, should have been.
There you go. So could be the Unai Emery derby if you get to that semi. Like, I think he's have a cracking chance of winning it now, to be honest. With your route to the final, I think United will. They don't like semis, but I think they could scrape through to a final as well. I'd like to see a United Arsenal final, and I'd be cheering you on for sure.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think United will get to the final. There was a lot of talk saying we don't like to watch United anymore because they look boring. There's nothing going on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know there's a big up for Bruno Fernandes and everything, but I'd rather watch Burnley and that. Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I'm sorry.
Agreed.
What I'll say is, watching the game and the other night, watching Paul Pogba come in, he looks the business. You can tell he's still. He might have put on a bit of weight, to be fair, but he still looks good. Do you know what I mean? I feel like we're going to see a difference to United now. Do you know what I mean? We're going to see better flair, better balls, being put in. Yeah. Bruno's all good and everything, but he ain't the guy, man. He ain't the guy. I don't understand why he gets so much praise, man. Do you know what I mean? I think KDB's way ahead of him and other players, but Pogba, for me, is the main man at United. Build a team around him. 100% they're going to go far. But I think if it comes to Arsenal and United in the final, we're bottle jobs. Do you know what I mean? We were there a couple of years ago versus against Chelsea. So I think United, if it is us, United have a better chance, in my opinion. However, I'll always back my team and I want us to go through. So we'll see how it goes.
Definitely.
I think, though, with Ole, especially if he gets to a final, I would back any other manager in the world to beat him in a final. I think he's terrible. Like, as much as Arteta is very fresh as well and he's new, but I thought in the North London derby, I thought he set us up perfectly, and the balls to drop Aubameyang as well, coming late. I think he's starting to prove himself, but Ole, I think, is so yellow. I know, what do you make of him? Like, do you think you get the edge on him in a final?
The only reason Ole would win is because he has better players.
Yeah.
As a manager, I'm being honest with you. Apart from maybe like Steve Bruce, I don't know who's really worse than Ole in the Prem. If I'm being serious, who's actually
just sorry. In one of our videos, I genuinely thought, I said he's the worst manager in the league. Got a lot of United fans saying that's Liverpool bias. Like, it genuinely isn't. The fact that rival fans want him to get that contract, get the odd win like that Manchester derby, give him the contract, get the odd result there, because they'll win a few games because they have class players. Like, they're second, but they're never going to win the league under Ole.
Yeah, no, put it this way. For me, if Klopp or even Pep was managing this United team, they could win the league.
Or someone like Ancelotti, maybe, if they took
maybe
him.
Even so, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I don't rate Ole at all, but like you said, the longer he's there, the better it is for all of us.
Yeah.
I can't lie to you. Yeah,
absolutely.
I think that United team's actually, like, on that. I think it's one of the best squads. I'd say bar Man City, I think it's the best squad in the Prem, with the depth and everything they have. Like, they just throw money around, but Ole's not the man to take it from. But the longer he stays, like you said, I'm happy out.
Yeah, but exactly. But I think it's also a case of, you look at you guys, for example, Klopp identified Van Dijk and said, I'm willing to spend 75 million. Solskjaer identified Maguire and should have realized that he was not worth 80 million. Do you see? Because I think Man City were in for Maguire as well. But when they heard 80 million, they said, no.
To be honest, I think City were just taking the piss there. Like, Pep was like, yeah, pretend we're interested for him. Bring that value up. I honestly think that's what happened, because City are very good in the transfer window. I think they were never properly in for him.
It might be. They might have done the same thing with Sanchez as well.
Yeah.
When United threw
yeah, remember the 500k? Jesus,
yeah, Jesus Christ. So yeah, man.
Just actually, go on, yeah, Peter, yeah.
No, I'm just saying, I don't think they were ever going. Yeah, they were never going in for Maguire. Look, they still have. I always forget this. They still have Ake there, like wasting away. Like he would start on most. Like I think any team that's and definitely in the bottom 10 of the table, he would get on. I'd say even some teams in the top 10, he'd probably start.
Yeah,
like the depth they have is unreal.
Definitely. I
you
think they have. I was just going to say they have incredible depth, and I think that's always the thing that I think detractors have against Guardiola, because there's an argument to be said that obviously they've gone on this amazing run this season and they're going to win the league, right? But at the same time, who else has the squad depth that Man City have, where they can change 4 or 5 players every 3 days and it's not a problem? Not everyone can do that. So where does the element of freshness come into it, and does that take away from Man City are going to do? Now, obviously, if they win a quadruple, incredible, but still, even for me, if there's a year not to win the quadruple, it's this year, because it's always going to be remembered as the year with no fans. How are you going to win 4 trophies with no fans?
They have no fans anyway, so.
Well, yeah. That's true. That's true.
Kind of standard year for them. At least they have an excuse why the stadium isn't full this time.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. All right, Man City, man. Hey, Man City.
Do you make them? Are they favourites for you for the Champions League? Who do you have? See the draw. I think they got the best draw in Dortmund. That was the team I was looking for, just because Dortmund's defense, the way they set up and stuff. I think City are going to hammer them. Like Dortmund will score a few goals, like Sancho, Haaland there, but I think they're they're bookies' favourites looking at it earlier. But like they've been bottlers in the Champions League, but I think this year with Diaz coming in, a bit more solid at the back, I'd say Pep's learned his lesson not to change around. Like Jay, who's your favourites for the Champions League?
So it's a good question, because I had 2, but I had 3. So Bayern, City, and Chelsea potentially. I've changed my mind a bit just because of what you said in regards to Dortmund. You see, Dortmund, they're a counter-attacking team, right? And we've seen that Pep has too much pride to change his tactics. Look what happened against United. Do you know what I mean? He could have changed it. Obviously, they went 1-0 down. They could have changed it. We said, no, I'm not going to do it. And obviously, they ended up losing to Oli and United 2-0. Now, the only thing with that is United play very similar. Well, so like a United shit, but Dortmund plays very attacking football, similar to how Man City play. Just gets the ball, goes straight on an attack, right? And the counter-attacking is perfect. Haaland, Sancho, all them boys do the thing. Even Hazard, who hasn't got regular games, he's still doing the business. He's full force in that game, do you know what I mean? But when it comes to them, I had a chat with John yesterday, actually, and I think Dortmund potentially could win it. Having said that, my heart has gone with the English Cups. I want all the English Cups to win. I would love to see another English final. Do you know what I mean? Like before, maybe get a Liverpool and Chelsea in there or something. Do you know what I mean? But with City, it's a bit worrying, because Dortmund is such a perfect counter-attacking team. They can kill anyone off. Do you know what I mean? So I think it's going to be a difficult game. However, I think City potentially might still go through. Do you know what I mean? But my favourites obviously goes without being said. Bayern Munich. They're beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Very attractive football they play. So good. And it's quite good that we're seeing, last year's final happen right now. Do you know what I mean? With PSG. Yeah. And a lot of people are talking about Poch. If Poch literally beats Bayern, he's the right manager. Do you know what I mean? But I don't know, man. I don't know if you could beat Bayern, man. I don't know. Because you got Lewandowski and them boys doing the business. Do you know what I mean?
But, yeah. First half hat-trick for him today. I don't know if you've seen that. Yeah. They got a red card. Red card after 15 minutes. Alphonso Davies banged. They're 4-0 up at half-time. Just taking the piss there. But
wow. There you go. It just says everything. I think they could retain it again this year. I don't think teams. I think you guys will beat Real Madrid though. I think Salah's got some revenge to do to Ramos. Pull it through his legs and bang it top bins. Do you know what I mean? That could happen. But that would be beautiful for you guys. I think you guys will win. 100% you guys will win. Chelsea will win. Well, that being said, I'll say City should win, and I think Bayern Munich will win. I think that's what I'm going to go with.
Yeah, for me, like when people are writing us down, as I think we're like 3rd or 4th favorites for it, according to the bookies. I think if we still have Kabak and Nat Phillips, there's not a chance of us winning. Like, and I hate to say that, like, I'm saying that, like, sadly, because I know well that's not good enough. People are comparing it to 05. We had a bad team. We still had, like, Sammy Hupia, one of our probably best centre-backs of Premier League era. Carragher, yeah, he was good as well, like, miles better than the likes of Kabak and Nat Phillips, but like Real Madrid, definitely they're there to be got at. Like, their team's been broken apart with injuries, and I know what's happening in Spanish football at the minute. Like, Barcelona, Real Madrid, they're gone to shit. Like, to be honest, gone to shit.
They just haven't invested well, I think. They just haven't reinvested well. I mean,
yeah.
Modric and I think Kroos and Casemiro is still starting for Real Madrid. It says something that really you'd have thought they would have started to phase them on. And I think obviously they bought Hazard, and he's been a flop just because he's been injured all the time. Like, he, obviously, so he hasn't done anything. And obviously Vinicius, they had big hopes on him, and he just hasn't done it. And it's funny how now, after years of getting criticism, now Benzema's the man to carry them. I find that quite ironic, but I you know what? I hear you on the Kabak and Nat Phillips point, but I think if Fabinho can stay in DM, which I have to admit, I think Klopp was a bit slow to put him there.
Yeah,
I think he could have done it earlier. I know why he didn't, because Fabinho was so good at centre back for a while that he even had me saying, "Wow, I can't believe how good he's been." But maybe if he'd done it earlier, like, it would have helped. But I think you guys will beat Madrid just because your focus now is going to be Champions League, and I think you can.
They're still in that title race. Like, they're right up there with Atletico now. So that sort of way.
In between your game with them, they've got Barcelona.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
So they can't be resting players. Meanwhile, you guys, you might say, you know what? Let's just throw the league game.
Yeah.
Let's go all out for this, and then.
They've got us during that time.
Yeah, 2 days before or something, isn't it?
Yeah, so they'll definitely throw that one. They don't need it against us, bro. So, because we'll probably throw the game as well for Europa League.
Yeah.
Draw or something.
Two of us are competing down there for like 8th place, though, aren't we? So
yeah,
that's prestigious enough.
Yeah, it's crazy. But no, I think you guys. Well, how do you guys feel about potentially getting Chelsea in the semi-finals? Would you guys fancy that, or?
To be honest, I think we're doing Madrid a slight bit of disrespect. Like, they're not what they used to be. Completely. Like, I think even just looking on Twitter and stuff, our fans are getting a bit too cocky. Like, Madrid haven't been great this season, but sure, either have we. We've been piss poor, let's be honest, for the last couple of months or so.
Benzema would wrap up Nat Phillips. Like, he will wrap up Nat Phillips.
So,
like, it's nothing.
So I actually haven't looked at Chelsea. Yeah, Chelsea look a lot better in the Tuchel. But if you were say to me, just say if we did get past Madrid, if you were said to me you have Chelsea in the semi-final, like, you'd be like, I'll take that. It could be a lot worse.
I think that is the run, though. I think it's
it is. No, it is.
So I can't say I fancy that. Like, Tuchel as well, he's going to have a point to prove. Like, he already got his point over in the league, but I still think Chelsea are very, very good side. But compared to what's left in the Champions League, maybe it is a bit of a nicer draw. We know them better as well. So, but then again, they know us too.
Yeah, true.
Don't you have defenders coming back? I think I read somewhere about defenders coming back. Are they not coming back anytime soon?
No.
Euros. They're thinking for maybe Euros, like, so.
Wow. Okay.
Van Dijk won't be back. Henderson will be back, so that'll be. I think Henderson will be back for the first leg, possibly. So if he's back, maybe him. Like, to be honest, I drop Wijnaldum, or not Wijnaldum. I'm sorry, Thiago right now. He's like, I try to defend him and stuff, but you're actually watching him. He gives away about 3 or 4 fouls a game, gets away with it. Even his passing the other night against Wolves was just sloppy.
Yeah.
I think he will look a lot better, though, when Henderson or Fabinho are there. They'll do the donkey work for him. He can just play ball. Because when we did have that midfield against Everton, that famous derby where Van Dijk got injured and Thiago got injured, he was man of the match. People forget. He was the best player in the field. He would have had remember that pass to I think it was Mane for a Henderson's goal that was somehow disallowed. I don't know how.
Oh, man, yeah.
Absolute joke. But that reverse pass, kind of no looker. So I think if we have Henderson back in midfield, Thiago might look a lot better.
I look. Dug out comments here as well. Liverpool, Chelsea of history. I don't know if you remember that. And
So many semi-finals with them.
Champions League. Come on.
Yeah,
What's
man.
that?
I even saw someone. I saw someone today say there should be a petition to make sure the game's back on ITV with Andy Townsend and I can't remember the other guy's name, but I agree. I can't lie. Those were legendary.
Luis Garcia goal.
That the ghost goal.
Yeah, legendary. I think you guys had like 3 or 4 semi-finals that were just epic.
Yeah.
All of them.
Remember the one? I forget what the final score. We scored like 4 at the bridge, but they bet us. I think it was 3-1 at Anfield before. Drogba tore us apart. We nearly pulled it back. We brought it back to 2-0, but they had too much for us. And even the one where we got to the final against Milan the second time, I can't remember exactly what year that was, but I remember Agger scoring a goal. We bet them on penalties. That was an average enough Liverpool team as well. So, yeah, but the thing is, I think that's working against us. Like, no one wants to go to Anfield on a Champions League night when it's packed out and stuff. We're not going to have that. Like that, I think that's worth a goal in itself when they come. Remember, City came a few years ago. We bet them 3-0. Like the bus was attacked and all that. But they're kind of bet before they even step on the field. You know, that sort of way.
Yeah. No, I agree. And you know what? It's funny. I mean, I think my brother might even have been on the chat, but I always said it to him when I was young. Anfield away, even when you guys weren't at your best, that was the game I used to always be in fear of the most. I don't know why. Like, it's not like you guys had the best team at that time, and I still remember we played during the quarterfinals of the Champions League in 2008.
Remember that? Torres did his stuff.
Yeah, and I remember Walker went on a mad run, the highlight of his Arsenal career, and set up Adebayo. Yeah. And I think there were 5 minutes to go, and we were going through on away goals. And I remember my dad and my brother were like, "Oh yeah, Arsenal through," and I'm there like, "It's too early. 5 minutes to go," and I'm saying it's too early. And then literally, as soon as the camera goes back into the game, I'm seeing Babel on the floor and penalty, and I'm like, "No, I'm done." I left the room. I didn't come back into that game. No, man. Yeah, Anfield is special. Anfield special.
I remember that game.
Yeah,
Fabregas was so good back then. I think that was peak Fabregas time. Jesus, he was quality.
Unbelievable player, man. Unbelievable.
We've always been like a European club, though. Even if we're not going great in the league, it's just I think even right when I've been watching us play in Europe, we've looked like a different team in comparison to what we were in the league. In the league, we look really sluggish, everything. Then you come in on a Tuesday, Wednesday night, and we're energetic. Everyone wants to play. I think especially Trent looks unbelievable. Just on that, what do you make of Trent being left out of the England squad? Do you think that's fair or?
I think that's unfair. Personally, I would have had Trent in the squad. Not just. Do you know what it is? He's had 2. Well, you can say 3 good seasons, right? 3 really good seasons. And is it fair to be judged now? Is the squad being picked on form? Because if it is, then yes. But if not, in credibility and everything, Trent deserves to be in the squad, man. He's by far the best right back in terms of putting the balls in and everything.
Yeah.
The formation that England plays, they play 3 at the back with Kyle Walker, I think Mings and maybe Maguire. And then they put someone on the left, and they've got Trent on the right. And I think I prefer Trent on the right doing the business because he just gets the ball, picks up and puts balls in to Harry Kane, whoever's there. Do you know what I mean? So for me, I would have taken him. I'm not sure who took his place. It's not Walker. Who's taking his place this time out?
Trippier.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Trippier. What's he done though? He's had 3 games this season. Do you know what I mean? At least Trent's been playing. Do you know what I mean? So I think that's a big mistake. I like Trent a lot. I think the English squad they picked. I know it's not for the Euros, obviously, because Trent can still get back into the Euros.
Yeah.
But when it comes to the squad they picked out for the World Cup qualifiers, I think it's a bit weak, in my opinion, in a lot of spaces. If that makes sense, but it might be due to injuries and stuff.
It's almost as if he's victim to his own demise. He set his standards too high. Southgate seen that tiny bit drop in form, and he justifies dropping him. We're happy because look, he's getting the rest and everything, but I still think he can take that one of 2 ways. Like he can either, become lethargic and get a bit depressed or whatever, lose a bit of confidence. I don't think he will. I think he'll bounce back and play better. I still think on Southgate's behalf, and then he went out and he got asked in an interview, and he was just saying, like, he was literally just being a prick about it. So I think it was a bit of a joke, to be honest.
For me, he's been looking for an excuse to drop Trent, because even when, as you said, even Trent's been in great form for 2 years now, and anytime he's gone up to England, I don't see him as like a definite star, which he should have been. There was no reason for Trent not to be. And I just feel like, to be honest with you, Southgate, for me, doesn't get how to use Trent. That's, for me, the issue. Trent is someone that he can not only whip it in, but he's got the technical ability to, if you want to play the possession game, he can pass it in the middle as well. But Southgate, I mean, I saw what he said about Trent. He was talking about, he's not met the standard of the previous season. And he's basically told me that it's based on form. So if that's the case, then why is Eric Dyer in the squad?
That's what I was going to ask you. I thought that was absolutely hilarious. It's not, even if Dyer's on good form, he's still useless, I think. It's so hypocritical by Southgate.
He's like a PE teacher who has all his favourites, and he always puts them on the one team or something like.
Yeah. He's going to ruin this England generation. I already said it to Jalil, I think, a couple of days ago. He's going to ruin this team.
I think so as well.
He's going to ruin them.
James Kerrigan, Mane is overrated. What do you think on that?
Why is he overrated? I don't think he's overrated.
It depends the context. I'm not sure. Yeah, it depends who he's comparing him to. Because for me, I've always said that for me, Mane's a better player than Salah. I don't know what you guys think. You might disagree with me.
See,
I will, to be honest.
I don't get mad at that. That's just my
either or. Like I kind of get it though.
The thing with Mane is, right, it's quality, right? When he, like, on his day, he's a much better team player. He passed the ball, but when Salah's on a bad run of form, he still bags.
That's the thing.
That's why I think Salah's better.
He always bags. That's the thing. Like, he can be like, oh, he had a shit game, and they're like, yeah, but he scored the winner.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
it's just such a Salah thing to do. Like,
that's the difference. But yeah, no, I think Mane's been a top player now for a few years for Liverpool, and it just depends if you're comparing him to the best players in the world, then right now he's clearly out of form. But
yeah, definitely.
But
even at his peak, I don't think. I remember boys are saying he was the best left winger in the world. I never thought that. I know it's good to gas up your own players and stuff, but when you look at like the likes of Neymar, even like Prime Hazard, when he was at it, they weren't far better. Well, Neymar, I think Neymar's a level above them, but they're just a decent bit better, that sort of way. But the thing with Mane is, he was kind of one of the first big signings. He kind of remember the 4-3 against Hughes it was the opening day of the season. We were 4-1 up. Then it went 4-3. Crazy game. One of Klopp's first games, I think, of his second season. But Mane was kind of, that season, Mane was unbelievable. He kind of, wouldn't say carried, but he's kind of one of the main reasons we got Champions League, which meant we could spend more, which meant we could get like Alisson, Van Dijk, that sort of way. So he was kind of the catalyst for our big rebuild or whatever. You know what I mean? He was one of the main lads.
I think it's a good comp by Lewis. Mane's quality but form is bad at the minute. Concerns for the rest of the season. I think it is a concern for me. When Jota's played, he's looked a lot more like, just so much more of an attacking threat. He's brought that pace into the game. You always feel bad because you don't want to, like, it's hard to justify Mane being on the bench because you know what he can do if he brings it to the table, but he's just not providing at the minute. So, do you think Klopp is giving him too much time? Do you think Jota should be starting ahead? Because I know even when he took Salah off the other week, and he kept Mane on, and Salah was looking like our only threat. So,
I mean, for this year, when it comes to your front three and all your attackers, I think it's a good headache to have. Personally, I would love to have that. With Salah, sometimes he looks poor, but he's still the Premier League's top goal scorer. Yeah. Like, how does that work? Where are you guys in the league? Like, you're below, you're like 5th, 6th or something? I don't know where you are. Yeah, and he's still the top goal scorer. I think it's a good headache to have. I think there is an issue, though. There's an issue that I think should be a concern, is that Klopp should have been preparing for this. He had the same 4-3 for 3 years now, I think, maybe a bit longer. I know he's had a few backups and everything, but with Jota, I think Jota's been the right move to bring in. But I think Firmino might need to be replaced, I think, or have someone to compete with him. I think Jota's.
I hear that. Yeah. No, I get you. Like,
I'd play Jota up top personally.
Like, Firmino's my favorite player. Have him in the poster in the back. I don't know if you can see that. Like, he is my favorite. He is my favorite player, but I'm not going to be deluded about it. He's dropped some stinkers this year. Just not even. I don't even care really about not scoring a lot of goals. He was never outrageously prolific. That's never really been his job. He'd pitch in a bit, but just in general, his hold up, like usually his hold up play, his first touch, his link play, his quality. He kind of knits everything together for us. But I just think like he's been an unreal servant for us. Won big trophies with us. I don't want to say move on, but if we want to be that rootless club, you know what I mean, like the way City would, City just bringing a Mahrez or a Bernardo Silva, you know, that sort of way, and shit boys, like they're not even playing Aguero. They don't even need, you know what I mean? So, like realistically, I don't think we're going to sign Haaland. I think that's bullshit. All them rumors and stuff. One lad, I say to Peter nearly every day. One lad I'd love us to sign. Another Wolves lad, Pedro Neto. I think he would fit in perfectly. Only 20, knows Jota. Like, what do you make of him? Because I think he's a realistic signing we could get in that front three.
Yeah, I think Neto's quality, to be honest. I think Neto's quality, and I think he brings a slightly different attribute for Liverpool in that he's more of a ball carrier. And I think maybe you could slightly do with that because as good as Mane and Salah are running with the ball, they're not really ball carriers in that sense. And I think, again, that's why I have to give Klopp credit. Klopp turns his players into monsters. He unleashes potential that you don't know is there. So I don't even know what Klopp could turn Neto into, if I'm being honest with you. So I think he'd be a great signing for you guys. But my only question is, do you think Jota then can do a whole season for you guys up top?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
But
I'm not sure, but yeah.
See, I think this summer, I think one of the front three goes. And I think it's going to be Mane or Salah because it doesn't work if we have a striker. It doesn't work. Firmino, we need Firmino to do that link-up play. I think we're just being read. We're too obvious now. You know, every team knows what to expect. You remember when Salah had that amazing season? Next year, he came out. He still bagged, but he wasn't doing it as easy because teams started to cop on a bit. I think one of that front three grows. Like I hate to see any of them go. Yeah. But I know it's time because if we wait another year or two, we won't get anything. Like same case with you with Aubameyang. You're not going to get what you need to replace him.
Yeah. You need to know when to start at the right time sometimes, and I think that's something that City do well. They're ruthless, like you said, but again, that ruthlessness comes from the board.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. You look at us, for example, and Jalil and I have spoken about this. We signed Xhaka for 35 million in 2016. We should have seen us for one season. He wasn't the right man. Maybe you can still sell him for 25 at that point. But now his values just continue to depreciate, where now he's almost 29. And how much are we really going to get for him? So, but the good thing for you guys is if you sell any of the front three, at least they will leave as legends. Whichever, I think so, anyway, from the way I look at it from the outside. So that's the difference. So they can go out on a high from that perspective. So, but yeah. So if I was to throw it back, because I don't know how much you guys could get for Firmino, to be honest. And this is a question for all three of you. Who would you sell out of Mane and Salah?
I'll let Peter go first on that one.
For me, Salah, because he is our best player. He is he's the one who puts the ball in the back of the net week in, week out. He's also who we're going to get the most money for. I think if I look at Mane or Firmino, I don't think they're going to be valued fairly. I think with Salah, he's such an ego-based player. He in his mind, like, I am the best. I want to be the best. A bit like what Ronaldo, Messi, all them have, where they're not a team player. They want the goals. They want all the stats. They want everything. Whereas Mane will pass the ball. He won't care who it's to, whatever. Salah will just be like, I'm trying to score this first. Worst case scenario, I have to pass it.
Yeah.
That's why. And I think like you could definitely get 100 million for Salah.
Okay.
I think that's... Like, because he is in his prime now, he has a few more seasons. Like, if maybe say, like, PSG get rid of Neymar or an Mbappe, get Salah in, something like that. But then we buy another player who's not doesn't want to be the best, not like a Haaland or an Mbappe, but like you said, like a Neto, something like that, who works well in a team, but they still have that individual class to put the ball in the back of the net. Yeah. What do you think, Dermot?
Yeah, I'm looking at the chat there. Conor Brady, would Neto or Rafinha be a better fit for the pool? I like Rafinha. I don't know what you think of him. He looks a good player. He's very good to watch. Classic Brazilian techie baller. I'd prefer Neto, though. I think Neto's slightly younger. He would cost more, but he's got a bit more about him, I think. But just on who I'd sell, Mane. I think Mane's 29, Salah's 28, Firmino's 29. They're all in around late 20s anyways. With Firmino, he's on a big contract. Like, he's plenty of years left. We signed him for 25 million, I think it was. Like, how much we getting from him? 35 million. I think a lot of teams would like him, though, that play, you know what I mean? He's a very good team player to have. The thing with Mane, who's going to get him? Maybe PSG. I don't see them selling Mbappe. Will Madrid go in for him? Possibly. Bayern wouldn't go for him. Like, there's only 3 or 4 clubs. I don't see him going to any English team. So I don't know if any of them will get sold. Possibly. But the thing is, with the COVID and all that, it's hard to get the deals done. I'd say maybe a Barca. But Barca are
they've no money.
Yeah, so
no money.
I would say that. So I don't know.
They still owe us 40 mil, I think, or something
for the Coutinho thing.
Yeah,
but Rafinha, good player. I'd definitely take him, but I'd rather Neto for me. And I'd probably sell Mane, but I think we'd get 60 million out of him with his age.
Yeah,
50, 60.
I agree. I would sell Mane as well, personally. Everything you said, I agree with, because I think Salah just gets goals. I think Mane works harder, but Salah gets the goals. So
thanks, man.
Yeah.
Numbers, So I'd keep Salah. Sell Mane.
Just before that, we read that comment. Like, if Salah wins the Golden Boot this year, that's 4 Golden Boots out of 4 years being here. Like, he might not be the best to watch, but that's outrageous numbers, to be fair.
Exactly.
Yeah. I have to say that's incredible. And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but when he scored the 32 and broke the record, didn't he only score 1 or 2 pens?
Yeah, he was, because Milner would have been on the pens a lot more.
Yeah, I mean, so. Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, Liam, going back to that Xhaka talk. Xhaka played 90 minutes, 19 games in a row ever since the captaincy incident. He's been solid bar the playing out from the back mistake. I'll go to you first because you are the Arsenal fans. John, what do you think?
I mean, you're asking the wrong man, because it's fair to say I'm not Xhaka's biggest fan. So I would just say that, I mean, that thing of playing 19 games in a row, I mean, that's obviously for him in terms of the physical aspect, that's great. It shows that he's always reliable, always there. I would just question from the sense of, people say, how do we Arsenal are not better without Xhaka? The only trouble with that team is it's never really been given a chance. He came in 2016. He's never, I think, been more than 3 games out of the team. And I think with Xhaka, it's a case of Wenger signed him, and Wenger was always very stubborn. So when it wasn't going well, Wenger likes to back his players and keep them in the team. Then Emery came in, made him captain, and then he became stubborn for that reason, saying, well, I can't drop my captain. And I think Arteta, when he came in, said straight away, I like Xhaka. And I think, I'm not his biggest fan. I never will be. I still think that there will always be some damage between Xhaka and the fans for what he did in terms of when he told him off. So I would still get rid of him in the summer, but I'm not as against him as I used to be, because I have seen improvements in his game, and that, he just doesn't make as many mistakes. Obviously, that Burnley one was recent, but I'm not his biggest fan. I would still sell him if you can give him 20 million, and I'll say, you know what, thanks for your service, but continue your career as well. But I don't mind having him as a squad player if worse comes to worse. Even
saying that though, who do you drop him for? Who's on your bench there? El Neni or
exactly El Neni? What, Joe Willock? What, Maitland Niles? Come on, you might as well put me in.
That's like when people were saying Mane's in bad form when Jota was injured. Like, who do you swap him for? Origi? Like, it's not really a comparison. Like, he's going to be playing the games when there's that quality on the bench.
Exactly. No, I totally agree with that. Yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue.
Yeah, like, lads, to be honest, on Xhaka, I think it's a disgrace he's still playing for his, like, the FU to the fans as a captain. The thing is as well, right? Let's just say it was let's just pretend, let's say Henry or Fabregas did that. You could kind of be like, look, we forgive you. You're one of our best ever players. You produce for us. Like, Xhaka's not even good to do that. You know what I mean? He's not. I think he's useless, to be honest. I'm not even messing. Even before that, like, he's not, you know what I mean? Say when Cantona, let's just say when Cantona kicked the fan in the head that time, they're obviously going to forgive him. Man's world class, but Xhaka is not good at all. He talks, I remember him talking up saying people prefer to speak after scoring 1 goal against Chelsea that time. Then he makes just the stupid mistakes. I don't know why you didn't sell him that January. I think Arteta asked for him back, which I thought was madness. I know you don't have much depth there, but what he did to the fans and the fact he's not good at all. I can't believe he's still playing with you, to be honest.
He's the best out of a bad bunch, as they say, you know. For me and John speak every day about him all the time. It is unbelievable. But having said that, John makes a valid point all the time, and you made a good point. He's not good enough to be an Arsenal. But when I look at him and when he plays week in, week out, more time he does more negatives than positives. However, I'm just that kind of Arsenal fan who just wants to stay positive and be like, I'm going to celebrate goals. I'm going to big him up when he makes a good tackle. And I'm going to swear at him every time on the TV when he does a stupid mistake, which he does really, like 3 times a game. Do you know what I mean? But having said that, we ain't got anyone else, man. El Neni ain't good enough to be here. And I prefer Shaq over him. And another thing I wanted to bring up as well, Ceballos. I don't know what you guys think about Ceballos, but I think he's awful.
Useless.
Yeah.
He's awful. I think after the first season we had him, he was decent. But we should have realised he's not going to be the one to get us, the 4th spot or to get us any titles. Get rid of him. Why are we loaning someone?
Yeah.
When has Liverpool ever done that? You loan a player and then loan them again. That don't make sense. Either buy him or then fuck off. Do you know what I mean? So it makes
No, definitely.
Yeah.
See, Liam brings up another good point. Do you see Guendouzi having a future because he's out on loan at the minute? I think he's only 21. Do you think like he could come back and it would allow Xhaka to be sold, or do you still think you need more depth? Or
do you want to answer, John?
I was just gonna say I've kind of given up hope on Xhaka being sold because I think Arteta really loves him. And I think I don't see Guendouzi coming back. I think we're gonna sell him in the summer. To be honest with you, I think he clearly has some problems with his attitude. And I made the point to Jalil that one, I personally think Guendouzi is generally overrated as a player. In my personal opinion, I don't really know what he does exactly because he's not really a defensive mid and he's not really attacking. So apart from carrying the ball sometimes,
and he's not even a box to box,
Exactly. So it's
he's just there.
He's just there, and you always notice him obviously because of his big hair. So, but personally, I think the issue with him is that he came into a bad Arsenal team and got carried away really quickly because a problem that I think, and that's more social media to be honest, is fans really sometimes overrate their players, and I think that's what happened to Guendouzi. And he might have seen some of that and kind of got to his head. Because I think if he was at a Liverpool or a Man City or a team with established players, he's not going to be acting up like that if he's got Van Dijk there or Klopp
or Henderson.
Do you think that's a thing where Arsenal players, like, I hate to pin it on Arsenal as a fan base, but I just think they've kind of quite a big following on social media, like obviously AFTV and everything. Do you think you big up maybe young talents a bit too much? Because like even ESR, I know Saka's phenomenal talent, but the likes of ESR who've been good, but even the likes of a Curtis Jones, that's probably biased. I still think he's been on level. I think he's been better actually, and he hasn't been given as much hype. Like, do you think that's the thing with Arsenal? They always kind of big up players.
That's very well put because that's our biggest mistake as a fan base. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah,
we might make a signing and they're on a 10, level 10. We'll put them on level 100. It just gives them too much of an expectation. Way too much of an expectation. So we expect them to be doing the business every single game and they don't reach it. Look at a player, for example, like you just said, a young player, Eddie Nketiah.
Useless, I think.
Came on, scored a header, scored 2 headers, I think, and got us through to the next round, FA Cup. It's the FA Cup. Come on now, it's not a Prem, it's not Europe. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were like, play him. Started playing and realised he ain't the guy. We need to stop doing that. Do you know what I mean? We need to let the managers, because funny enough, Arsenal fans have probably got one of the biggest fan base in the world. So I guarantee you, once they see on Twitter, oh, we think this guy's a good guy, go get him, or we think this guy deserves a chance in the game. I'm telling you now, Arsenal see it. They see what the fans want to shut us up, and they do something.
Yeah, pure machine.
There you go. Exactly.
Yeah. Even Saka, right? Saka is a phenomenal talent. He's probably one of your best players. He wasn't great in the North London derby, taking off at half time, and people were already getting on his back. And I'm like guys, he's 19, and he's been your best player. Like these guys need time. It's going to be 2, 3, 4 years until he's your best, like your standout player week in, week out. That consistency is going to come with time. I think like that puts a lot of pressure. You've seen so many players crack under that pressure. It's too much for a young lad, to be the forefront of a team.
Yeah, you look at Smith Rowe. He's already got a nickname, Croydon De Bruyne.
Yeah.
He's played 5 games. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, Curtis Jones, I've seen him make a contribution to Liverpool this season. And for some reason, I don't really hear his name mentioned at all, to be honest.
And even when he doesn't score goals and stuff, like you watch any time he's played this season, he's been one of our best players on the pitch. Just tidy on the ball, keeping it simple. He's good at dribbling with the ball. You know what I mean? Even after, remember the goal he got against Everton last year in the FA Cup?
Yeah.
Absolute screamer. Like, just with Arsenal fans, like, I remember, you mentioned Nketiah. He was getting bigged up after scoring a few tap-ins against Dundalk and Molde in the Europa League. Like, you know what I mean? And do you think as well, them young lads coming in, like, just compare that to Curtis Jones. He's training every day with Van Dijk, Henderson, you know what I mean, Mane, even Trent's a bit of a leader, Robertson, you know what I mean? Boys that set high standards that if he's not training well, not going well at training, they're going to let him know about it. But then, I don't know, maybe you think at Arsenal, you see Xhaka says, oh, Xhaka got away with telling the fans to F off. Maybe he's not training that well. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not saying them lads are going to have bad attitudes, but they'll pick up things from the older lads and their team. Even the things like Aubameyang, your captain coming late for a North London derby. They'll look at that. It was good by Arteta to go in on him, but they'll look at that and say, Jesus, he's doing that. It's probably not that bad to do, or I could probably get away with that.
Even on Arteta as well, because Arteta's a young enough manager, they'll be like, we can get away with it. It's his first real time. He doesn't know what he's doing. A lot of issues there.
I mean, compared to the player you named, Henderson, Van Dijk, Trent, all them, our captain is a Aubameyang. Yeah, he's too nice. Them lot will tell him, Bob, you're late. Fix up. Aubameyang will be like, you're late, my friend. Let's go get a drink. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. Like, look at Xhaka. We've got Xhaka, he is one of our leaders in the camp. I'm telling you now, he is. And the captain.
Disgrace.
Those two, look up to those two compared to the guys you just named. That's not fair, bro.
It's even like the captains you have had, Tony Adams, Vieira, Henry. Imagine a young Fabregas doing that. Vieira would just say Roy Keane with United. Like, you're just not getting away with that. It's just Xhaka from Vieira to Xhaka. I just think it's a madness.
It is completely madness, and I think Jalil brought up Xhaka. Obviously, there's the Aubameyang issue about him turning up late, but it just doesn't come down to that. You got the issue of, David Luiz, Mustafi, etc. They can make mistakes for years, they never get dropped, and then as soon as they win one game, I'm seeing them on social media, or like it's just like we all know. I don't know about you guys, but I've never really. I think in this country, it's not, the Community Shield is not really considered a trophy, right?
No, it's not a trophy.
Yeah. It's not a trophy. I was being nice. Yeah, and I'm seeing we won the Community Shield this year, and I'm seeing post-game photos on Twitter, celebrations. Yeah. I'm like, what is going on? This is a Community Shield.
It's like Tottenham win the Audi Cup, like.
Yeah, and like Maitland-Niles played, I think he was given man of the match in the Community Shield, right, against you guys.
Yeah.
And because of that one game, Arsenal fans on social media saying, "Don't take 20 million for Wolves. Don't take 20 million from Wolves." And the club saw that and said, "Yeah, you know what? Let's keep him." Didn't play a minute. Where is he now? West Brom.
West Brom on loan.
Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The year we got Laka, hype around him was ridiculous. Do you think? What do you think of Laka? Because I actually rate Laka on the pitch. I think he provides a bit more than Aubameyang. I don't think he's as good a goal scorer as him, but I think he just brings a bit more to the game, and his work rate's very good. Who would you pick? Like, say you had a game in the morning. Are you taking Aubameyang or are you taking Laka?
Easy. Lacazette all day. I think John will say the same thing because Laka has a bit more to his game. I think Laka, do you know what Laka remind me of Firmino a bit, a tiny bit. He comes a bit deeper, collects the ball, and he puts people. Look at this. Him and Smith Rowe together, and Saka together. They just look beautiful together. Do you know what I mean? They just pop the balls around. And man, what Firmino does for Mane and Salah. That's why you guys don't need the striker. And I think Mikel's kind of seeing that. However, Aubameyang gets the goals, but Laka just looks better. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know. Aubameyang, I don't think I'll pick Aubameyang over most people if you put them on the table. To me, if I'm honest.
Wow.
I mean, I concur with that in the sense that I would personally pick Laka, and it's not just because Laka's a better all-around player. Obviously, Aubameyang's a better goal scorer, hands down, every single day of the week. But for me, it's that when Laka plays, our team plays better. So that's what I'm looking at the moment, and I think that's similar to what Firmino does as well. When Firmino's on the pitch, he usually tends to elevate Salah and Mane's game. That's what I tend to notice. So yeah, that's why I would go for Lacazette if you were telling me. But yeah, I know Arteta will probably go for Aubameyang because now they've kind of dug themselves in a hole. 375k a week, captain of the club. How can you not play him?
Yeah, you can't justify him on the bench, but you can't justify him playing either.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword. I don't know.
Just on Arsenal, I'm looking at your team. Next year, you want to get back competing for top 4. That's probably realistic, yeah. I'm looking at your team. You need a right back. I think Bellerin is absolutely awful. You probably need a centre back. You definitely need a midfielder. He's actually on Odegaard. He's looked quite good since he's joined. Do you think you'll get him on a permanent? Because I still don't see Madrid wanting him, but they'll ask for decent money. What have you made him?
Yeah, I mean, I'd keep Odegaard. Definitely get rid of Ceballos. I mean, getting rid of Ceballos, I'd still bring in 2 more central defenders, maybe 1 more defender, and definitely a right back and a left back. I don't think we've got good enough cover for Tierney. Yeah. But when it comes to Odegaard, man, I think he's a beautiful player, bro. When I've watched him, look, I'm not trying to make a comparison here because I know a lot of people bite my head off when I say this, but he reminds me of Ozil. But Ozil,
I know what you mean,
because he runs back and does the business. He doesn't just do attacking. He's got a left foot. Most left-footed players got a left foot, and when this guy plays with the ball and he runs and he dribbles and the reverse passes he puts into the box for the forward players is just beautiful to watch. But he also does the defensive work as well. Him and Smith Rowe does the defensive work. You don't normally see that from an Arsenal perspective. Whereas if you're looking at teams like even Liverpool, for example, Salah and Mane, they're attacking players, but they still come back and do the dirty work. And that's always asking for players like Ozil and even Aubameyang, players whoever's on the wing. Do you know what I mean? But Odegaard just does it. Does he ever run out of breath? Did not see that guy stop running once. It is crazy. I would pay. I saw a few figures on Twitter. I'll pay 40 mil.
Given his age, I think that's about right. What do you think, John? You definitely take him?
Yeah, I would take him. My only issue is if we buy him, does that mean that we're not getting someone else? That's the only thing that scares me, to be honest. Because if you told me we had 40 million to spend on him, I would. But maybe I'd rather spend that 40 million on Basuma.
Yeah, looks a good player.
Yeah, I mean, I thought against you guys at Anfield when they beat you, I thought he was brilliant. He was brilliant. So yeah, if you tell me we have Partey and Basuma and then Smith Rowe just in front, I might take that. But if not, then I would take Odegaard because as Gillo said, he's been very impressive, very sound technically on the ball, makes the right passes at the right time, and he's got energy, which suits the modern game, which I think also kind of got phased out of the modern game, if I'm being honest. So,
I was just checking there. Brighton are 2-0 up against Newcastle. That's a massive, I was just going to say, if Brighton were to get relegated, you might get Basuma 20-25 million. But to be honest, I don't see them going down now. They've a decent little team there. They're going to win that probably 2-0 with 25 minutes to go. So Basuma will probably cost a decent bit of money just because they've stayed up now.
Yeah, 40 million, 45 probably, yeah.
John, I was going to ask you, John. Yeah. Basuma or Odegaard for next season? If you had to take one, who are you taking? Me personally, I'm taking Odegaard, but I know you like Basuma, and I know you need that centre mid position to be filled next to Partey.
Yeah, I just think if I have Basuma and Partey, it's such a solid base for everything else to work from. And I think if I have Smith Rowe in front of that, then it can work. I think, and then obviously we've got Saka as well. And then I would just go for Basuma but I wouldn't be upset if we have Odegaard next season. No, I think he's. You made the point about we shouldn't take a player twice on loan. He's one you might want to consider taking twice on loan.
I don't know. I think you make the decision whether to take them or not, because put them on loan.
We don't spend money, man. No, you know us. We don't spend money.
It don't make you feel part of the team, though. He's not part of the team. Let's be real. So Bias and him is not really part of the team. Let's be real.
If Zidane gets sacked.
Yeah.
If Zidane gets sacked, then maybe we could keep him.
I know with Odegaard though, I think he said like a few years ago, like it's always been his dream play for Real, playing them big teams. Like he's looking, maybe I rip it up in the Premier League, I get into that squad because their midfield is aging. They're looking everywhere. They kind of need a new leader because Hazard hasn't done it for them. Like Mendy's kind of doing bits, but he might think like I can go back here but on that point, I don't think ESR is good enough to play that number 10 for you. Like I think he is very good and he's young. I think give him 3-4 years he'd be good enough. But I think if you want top 4 next season, ESR won't do it for you.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And you know what? It's quite refreshing to hear a level-headed approach where it's not about everything has to happen right now. And I think that's something that, like 10 years ago, it was actually enjoyable to see a young player come through and give them time to grow. Now it's a case of, because of all the stats as well, the GAs.
Just do it now. It has to be done now. Yeah.
What, you've only got 5 assists this season? Get out.
Yeah.
That's how it is now. So, but yeah, no, I think I would give Smith Rowe the time to get in, but I'd have someone better at the time being in that position.
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, it's always like every year you have under 23. I think that adds like 3 or 4 goal contributions onto your tally. But I think with the likes of ESR and Saka, I think Saka is good enough first team quality now. I think ESR, if they keep easing him in, they get a good player that he can learn off. Like even we brought in Thiago, he hasn't done it, but I know Curtis Jones is going to learn off him.
Yeah.
What he can do. That's why I think if Arsenal get in a very good, player who's on the way out, maybe train ESR up, kind of take him under the wing, 2-3 years, they'll be a force to be reckoned with. But just before we go, Arsenal season, like Europa League, Premier League, what's going to happen? I'll go to you, John, first. Or Jay, you're going to speak.
Premier League will probably finish. I'm saying this more in hope. I hope we finish like 8th or 9th, because if we finish 7th, we'll be entering that Europa Conference
thing. Yeah, jeez,
I'm telling you, if we end up in that, nah, because that's crazy. So I'm saying I hope we finish 8th, and I hope we win the Europa League. But if I had to say my hunch, I think we'll finish 9th, and I think we'll get to the final of Europa, but lose to United. That's my gut. It will be painful, but yeah. Painful.
Yeah, I didn't take that in well, man. Lose to United.
Yeah, he's solid, bro.
What would be? Look, if I'm being realistic, I think we will finish 7th. We're on too much of a good run. Everyone's starting to find their feet. I'm sorry, John. I'm sorry, but we're starting to find our feet now, and I think
positivity.
Yeah. There's a lot of things to look forward to. We're playing good at the moment. Well, obviously part of the game we had just then, but we beat Spurs, you know, with that team. And I think that's one of the best teams we can put out, for example, especially when Aba's not starting, no disrespect to him. But with the team we've got now, I think we can potentially hit 7. There's even an argument, and if you calculate it properly, there's an argument to win to get 6. So I don't know how that's going to work, but it could happen. If it does happen, happy days. But when it comes to Europa,
You're the winner.
Don't say it. He wants to say we're gonna win it.
Go on, say you're going to win it. You'll beat Ollie if you get him in the final. I'm telling you that now. I would put my house on that.
Okay, this is how I'm going to say it. If Aubameyang starts and he's our main man, which is going to be it, we'll probably get knocked out next round. But if he's not, if he's not, we are going to win it. If Elaka's playing and you know the world we play and everything, I think we potentially can win it. But if I'm saying this now, if others in the front line, we're not winning it. There's not enough going forward. Not enough at all.
All right. You heard it here first. Yeah. Look, I want to thank 2 lads for coming on. It's been a pleasure. Everyone, their link is in the description. Go subscribe to them now. Real Ball Talk. If you like what we do over here, you'll love their channel. All things football, isn't it? Really, Arsenal
that
fans.
The 2000s. Look, actually watched a few of them. Very good. So there's more of them to come, is there?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a few more to come. Yeah, they get a bit heated sometimes because obviously people are emotionally attached to players. So there's a lot of disagreement sometimes. But just personally from me, thank you very much for having us on. It's been I've super enjoyed it, man. Like it's been great, and you guys are clearly doing amazing things. So yeah, man, I know you guys will keep going, and I hope definitely. I think we mentioned we're going to be back on for like a preview both ways, definitely. Arsenal against Liverpool. But yeah, man, thanks for having us on, guys. Really appreciate it.
It's been a pleasure. Everyone, just make sure to like, subscribe, and see you next time.
Peace.
Cheers, lads.